Delegates, please take your seat.
Naam, mtazamaji wa television, tayari mgeni rasmi katika kongamano hili lililoandaliwa na ZIPA hapa visiwani Zanzibar, linalojulikana kama Zanzibar Investment Summit limekwisha anza na utaratibu unaendelea.
Delighted to have him with us this morning. I would also like to recognize Sharif, Minister of Labor and Investment of the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar. Can we all put our hands together for him? Delighted and honored this morning to have with us Mama Mariam Mwinyi, the First Lady of Zanzibar. Can we all put our hands together for her as well? Your Excellency, allow me to also recognize the presence of Honorable Mudrik Ramadan Saraga, Minister of Information Technology and Innovation, who is also the Acting Minister of Tourism. Can we all put our hands together for him? Honorable guest of honor, we are delighted to also have with us Honorable Mashamu Ali Munde, the Deputy Minister of Finance from the United Republic of Tanzania. With us also, Honorable, Your Excellency, we have Honorable Nadir Abdul Latif Al-Wade, Minister for Water, Energy and Minerals of the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar. Let's put our hands together for him as well. Delighted, next to you, Your Excellency, Mr. Saleh Saad Mohammed, the Executive Director of Zanzibar Investment Promotion Agency and our host this morning. Let's put our hands together for Mr. Saleh. Your Excellency, we also have and delighted to have with us this morning Mr. Hamis Shaibu Mwalim, the Principal Secretary, Ministry of Labor, Economy and Investment. Let's put our hands together for him. Your Excellency, we have our host, Mr. Muhammad Abdallah, the Regional Commissioner of Urban West, Zanzibar. Let's put our hands together for our host. We are delighted also on this audience, Your Excellency, to have Excellency Ambassadors. To begin, allow me to introduce and recognize the presence of Honorable Ambassador, Excellency Ambassador Mbelwa Kairuki, the Ambassador of Tanzania in the United Kingdom, who is also the Dean of all Tanzanian Ambassadors abroad. We are also delighted to have Excellency Ambassador Dr. Suleiman Haji Suleiman of Tanzania in China. We are delighted also to have Excellency Ambassador James Mbwana of Tanzania in South Africa. We are honored to have Excellency Ambassador Anissa Mbega of India, Tanzania in India. We are honored and delighted to have Ambassador John Simbachawene of Tanzania in Brazil. Have I missed out any ambassador? Yes. Your Excellency, I have not introduced, and I'm delighted to introduce Ambassador. I will come back to you with great apologies. Allow me to also recognize all ambassadors representing your respective countries in Tanzania. I'm delighted also to recognize all deputy ministers present, all those representing and principal secretary and permanent secretaries present, distinguished delegates, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Kazi na utu. Can we have more energy in the room? Kazi na utu. Your Excellency, this is Investment Summit 2026 by the theme promoting investment diversification for sustainable development as we are shaping Zanzibar's next growth story. Your Excellency, allow me without further ado to invite for the welcoming remarks the ZIPA Executive Director, Mr. Saleh Saad Mohammed, who will also extend and introduce the rest of the delegates that we have in the room. Can we all put our hands together as Mr. Saleh is coming for the welcoming remarks?
Your Excellency Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Honorable Sharif, Minister of Labor and Investment, Mama Mariam Mwinyi, wife of the President of Zanzibar, all protocol is observed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A very good welcome to you all. And I know I have a few friends from Russia. Dobro to Dragoi and habari za asubuhi to you all. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor and privilege on behalf of Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority to welcome you all to the Zanzibar Investment Summit 2026. We are deeply honored by the presence of Your Excellency, the President of Zanzibar, whose visionary leadership, commitment to economic transformation, and dedication to creating an enable environment for investment continues to position Zanzibar as one of the most promising investment destinations in the region. Today, we come together under the inspiring theme of promoting investment, diversification for sustainable development in Zanzibar, shaping Zanzibar's next growth story. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, this summit marks another important milestone in Zanzibar's journey towards sustainable economic growth, strategic partnership, and private sector development. Today's official opening brings together approximately 700 registered participants and more than 30 exhibitors from various sectors and countries, reflecting the growing confidence of our investors and partners in Zanzibar's future. Your presence here signifies a shared vision, one rooted in economic to unlocking new opportunities, fostering dynamic partnership, and propelling Zanzibar economic transformation to a new height. We are equally honored by the presence of ambassadors from various countries, as well as all ambassadors representing Tanzania in different parts of the world, whose participation demonstrates the increasing global interest in Zanzibar and Tanzania as attractive investment destination. Your participation demonstrates the growing international interest in Zanzibar as an emerging hub for trade, tourism, investment, innovation, and blue economic opportunities. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, the objective of this summit is not only showcasing Zanzibar's investment potential, but also to strengthen dialogue between government, investors, development partners, and private sector. Through this platform, we seek to build lasting partnership that will accelerate industrial development, infrastructure expansion, tourism growth, digital transformation, renewable energy investment, logistic development, and employment creation for our people. As ZIPA, we remain committed to facilitating investors through efficient services, policy support, and coordination institutional collaboration. We believe that investment is not merely about capital flow, but about building sustainable partnership that create opportunities, transfer knowledge, empower communities, and contribute to national prosperities. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to sincerely express our gratitude to all institutions and stakeholders who have contributed to the successful preparation of this summit. First and foremost, we extend our deepest appreciation to Your Excellency, the President of Zanzibar, for your strong leadership and continued support toward investment promotion and economic development in Zanzibar. We also extend our sincere appreciation to the Honorable Minister responsible for investment, the Permanent Secretary, and the Deputy Permanent Secretary for their guidance, support, commitment throughout the preparation process of this important national event. Special appreciation also goes to the entire ZIPA team and all other public and private institutions whose dedication, professionalism, and tireless effort made this summit possible. We further express our gratitude to our sponsors and partners for their generous support and collaboration. In a special way, we would like to thank Mama Mariam Mwinyi for her strategic initiative through Maisha Bora Foundation that plays a significant role in shaping the Zanzibar women's position in business and investment spectra. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I encourage all participants to engage actively in the discussions, exhibitions, networking sessions, and business engagement. Let us use this opportunity to exchange ideas, explore partnership, identify opportunities, and collectively shape the future of investment in Zanzibar. Zanzibar is open for business, Zanzibar is ready for investment, and Zanzibar is ready for partnership. With these few remarks, it is now my honor and privilege to once again welcome you all to Zanzibar Investment Summit 2026. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to take a few of your minutes to introduce to you a small documentary that shows the important milestone in documentation of investment in Zanzibar, but most importantly, to introduce to you a land mapping system which was developed by ZIPA in collaboration and support of IGAF and our partner from NNB in terms of technicalities. This land map system is a system which will allow all our investors who wish to invest in Zanzibar to handpick the land which have been already surveyed and the due diligence have been done properly. This will allow incumbency and any difficulties for our investors to be removed effectively immediately. So please allow me to introduce this video to you.
More connected investment future. Zanzibar is building a smarter, more connected investment future. Through the ZIPA land and property mapping system, investors can seamlessly identify verified investment-ready land and properties, while ZIPA ensures transparent and efficient management of opportunities across the Zanzibar Special Economic Zones. Strategic Investment Projects reports, Zanzibar is directing investment toward high-impact sectors that drives economic growth, create jobs, and unlock new opportunities for businesses and communities. Implementing this vision, the annual investment report tracks progress, highlights achievements, and showcases the transformative impact of the investment across the economy. Together, these innovative tools provide investors with the insights, transparencies, and confidence needed to invest, grow, and succeed in Zanzibar. Explore and invest in Zanzibar now.
Thank you very much. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saleh Saad Mohammed, the Executive Director of ZIPA, for your warm welcoming remarks, Your Excellency. Before I bring to the podium the European Union delegation, allow me to once again recognize the presence of Excellency Ambassador Hassani Mwaweta of Tanzania in Germany. Let's give him a round of applause. Your Excellency, also allow me to recognize the presence of the United Nations Area Representative and all the UN agencies present here this morning. We thank you all for being with us. And kindly allow me now to invite Ms. Dorota Piquere, the head of section Economics and Governance, delegation of the European Union to Tanzania and East Africa Community, to give us her remarks, to be followed by the remarks from Mr. Ali Amour, Chairman, Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce. Kindly prepare. As she's on the stage, let's give her a warm round of applause. Karibu.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, President of Zanzibar, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, Honorable Ministers, distinguished representatives of the Government of the United Republic of Tanzania, esteemed members of the business community, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Habari gani? Nimefurahi sana kuwa hapa asubuhi hii kufanya hotuba nyingine katika Zanzibar. Asante sana. It's a great Asante. It's a great honor to address the Zanzibar Investment Summit on behalf of the European Union. Being here in Zanzibar, a historic crossroads of trade and an increasingly dynamic economic hub, reminds us of the transformative power of partnerships and investments. European Union is a long-standing and trusted partner of Tanzania and Zanzibar. Our renewed partnership is built on shared priorities: sustainable and inclusive growth, economic diversification, local value addition, and job creation, especially for women and youth, all in line with our mutual interests. These priorities align fully with Tanzania Vision 2050, Zanzibar development strategies. They also lie at the heart of the European Union Global Gateway Strategy, the European Union's offer for a renewed partnership to focus on high-quality, sustainable investments in key sectors, such as climate and energy, transport and logistics, digital connectivity, all of which are central to Zanzibar development vision. Through Global Gateway, the EU connects public policy priorities with private sector opportunities. We go beyond dialogue. We work to make projects bankable and investable in close cooperation with governments, finance institutions, and European and local businesses. This 360-degree approach combines investment, dialogue, skills development, high standards, and tailored financial support. Our partnership is based on certain principles, such as democratic values, good governance, and transparency, all of which are necessary to have a predictable and sustainable and stable business environment, which in turn is key to attract private investment. In Tanzania, including Zanzibar, the EU deploys a broad range of financial instruments. We propose grants, blended finance, guarantees, and technical assistance to reduce risk and to mobilize private investment. Our message, as we have just heard, is clear. Zanzibar is open for sustainable business, and European Union is ready to help connect European companies with local partners. Asante. This renewed partnership is already tangible here in Zanzibar. Through the Green and Smart Cities SASA program, the European Union has expanded access to water and sanitation services, improved waste management, and created economic opportunities for youth, women, and small businesses. The program has rehabilitated 2 solar-powered boreholes and Tanzania, including Zanzibar, investment-ready opportunities to European companies and financiers. Early 2027, a high-level forum in Dar es Salaam will bring together policymakers, investors, and businesses for in-depth dialogue and concrete deal-making. This forum aims to present Tanzania, including Zanzibar, as a competitive investment destination for European businesses, attract new European investors, and facilitate partnerships, value addition, and job creations. For companies present here today, this represents a very practical opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, looking ahead, the European Union stands ready to work with the government of Zanzibar and Tanzania and with the private sector to turn this vision into reality and to deepen our investment ties. We remain committed to being a reliable, predictable, and high-quality partner. Let us use this summit to turn potential into shared prosperity. Thank you. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana, Ms. Dorota Piquerey, the head of Section Economics and Governance Delegation of the European Union to Tanzania and East Africa Community, for your candid remarks. Your Excellency, allow me now to invite to the podium Mr. Ali Amour, Chairman, Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce, ZNCC, for his remarks. His remarks, Your Excellency, will be followed by the signing of the MOU between ZIPA and American Chamber of Commerce. Kindly prepare. Karibu.
Your Excellency, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, President of Zanzibar and Chairman of Zanzibar Revolutionary Council, Honorable Sharif Ali Sharif, Minister of Labor and Investment, Mama Mariam Mwinyi, the First Lady of Zanzibar, ministers, diplomatic corps, ladies and gentlemen, protocol is observed. Assalamu alaikum. Allow me first and foremost to thank Almighty God for granting us health, peace, and opportunity together today for this important summit dedicated for shaping Zanzibar economic future. On behalf of Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce and the entire private sector, I express our sincere appreciation to the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar, especially ZIPA and all partners organizing this important event. Your Excellency, the theme of this summit, promoting investment diversification for sustainable development, shaping Zanzibar's next growth story, reflects bold direction that has been taken under your visionary leadership. The private sector wishes to commend Eighth Phase Government for its unwavering commitment to building modern, inclusive, and competitive economy. Since assuming office, Your Excellency, you have demonstrated a consistent, sustainable economic growth that can only be achieved through a strong partnership between government and the private sector. Your belief in a private sector-driven economy has strengthened investor confidence and positioned Zanzibar as increasingly attractive destination for both domestic and foreign investment. Equally important, your administration has introduced a culture of efficiency, accountability, performance, and customer-oriented services within the public institutions, creating a more conducive environment for business and investment to grow. Today, the investors see the government that listens, that the institutions that are becoming more responsive, and the leadership that undertakes the prosperity is created when the government enables and the private sector decide to drive the growth. Your Excellency, the private sector has witnessed significant progress in infrastructure development, digital transformation, investment facilitation, and public-private dialogue. We particularly appreciate the government commitment to engaging the private sector through Zanzibar National Business Council and other consultative platforms that allow us to contribute meaningfully to economic policy and development. Ladies and gentlemen, the opportunity before us are enormous. While tourism remains a key pillar of our economy, Zanzibar's next growth story will be driven by diversification. The future lies in the blue economy, agro-processing, fisheries and aquaculture, manufacturing, renewable energy, logistics, digital innovation, financial services, and the knowledge economy. We therefore welcome investors from Tanzania and across the world to partner with us in transforming these opportunities into jobs, exports, innovations, and shared prosperity. Your Excellency, the private sector warmly welcomes the initiative to establish the Private Sector Development Act, which we believe will provide a stronger legal and institutional framework for investment promotion, enterprise development, and public-private collaboration. We wish to assure Your Excellency that once this important legislation is in place, the private sector will be ready to seize opportunity it creates. We will be ready to invest more innovative, more creative, more jobs, and expand partnership to accelerate the realization of Zanzibar Vision 2050. As the chairman of Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce, I assure you that the private sector remains fully committed to supporting your vision of prosperous Zanzibar built on entrepreneurship, innovation, competitiveness, and sustainable development. Thanks for listening.
We thank you very much, Mr. Ali Amour, the Chairman, Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce, for your very kind of the present in Tanzania. This MOU, Your Excellency, that you're about to witness its signing, aims at working in collaboration between ZIPA and the AmCham, American Chamber of Commerce, in extending the promotion of investment of American investors to Zanzibar, bringing American investors to Zanzibar. And we're going to work in collaboration with American Chamber of Commerce in extending the promotion activities, but also organizing events together, attracting American investors to Zanzibar. Can I now request Saleh and the ZIPA lawyer, as well as AmCham, American Chamber of Commerce, to kindly join us onto the stage for the signing of the MOU. After the signing of the MOU, you will raise the folders to show the President that you've done that, and then you will exchange the folders. Your Excellency, signing on behalf of the American Chamber of Commerce is none other but Ms. Imelda Lutebinga, the acting board chairperson, but she's also the CEO of DHL in Tanzania. Witnessing on behalf of American Chamber of Commerce is Mr. Godfrey Mondi, the Executive Director of American Chamber of Commerce in Tanzania. Can we all please put our hands together? It is official. The MOU has been signed and witnessed by the guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi. Thank you very, very much. Another round of applause. Your Excellency, I'm also delighted to mention that we've signed an MOU between Afri-Exim and ZIPA, which aims at increasing capacity and promotion of the Zanzibar economic spatial zones. And as Afri-Exim could not be here present, I request you, Your Excellency, to kindly witness the video that attests that this exercise took place. This video, Your Excellency, will be followed by the remarks from Honorable Sharif.
Your Excellency Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Honorable Ministers, Mr. Saleh Saad Mohammed, Executive Director of the Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority, ZIPA, development partners and business leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank, and our President and Chairman of the Board of Directors, Dr. George Elombi, it is my distinct pleasure to participate in the signing of this Memorandum of Understanding between Afrexim Bank and the Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority. Allow me, please, to commend His Excellency President Hussein Ali Mwinyi and the revolutionary government of Zanzibar for his bold leadership and commitment to advancing Zanzibar's economic transformation agenda through strategic trade enabling infrastructure and public-private partnership initiatives. We particularly commend the government's support for transformative projects such as the landmark Maruhubi Terminal Relocation Project, which has the potential to strengthen Zanzibar's competitiveness and position the island as a regional trade, logistics, and export processing hub along the East African coast. These projects and many others demonstrate what is possible when vision is backed by implementation capacity. We at Afrexim Bank look forward to building on this momentum by continuing to support strategic projects that can accelerate industrialization, trade, tourism, logistics, and export development in Zanzibar. Zanzibar possesses significant strategic advantages, including its geographic location, its blue economic potential, reform momentum, and growing tourism sector, which now attracts close to over 1 million visitors annually and continues to drive investor interests in the island. At Afrexim Bank, we strongly believe that Africa's long-term growth and resilience will depend on economic diversification, industrialization, as well as value addition. The continent can no longer rely predominantly on exporting raw and primary products, often 1 or 2 products per country, while importing finished products. Under the leadership of President George Elombi of Afrexim Bank, we remain firmly committed to supporting Africa's transition towards industrialization, value addition, export transformation, and regional value chains. And as the continent advances the operationalization of the African Continental Free Trade Area agreements, strategic partnerships such as this will be critical in delivering bankable projects, strengthening regional value chains, and deepening intra-African trade. The bank stands ready to deploy its wide range of products to support Zanzibar. Know that to date, the bank has already made available over $2 billion in funded and unfunded facilities to support trade enabling infrastructure, and export-oriented projects in the United Republic of Tanzania. We also wish to warmly invite ZIPA and the revolutionary government of Zanzibar to participate in the 6th African Sub-Sovereign Governments Network Conference to be held between 12th and 14th November 2026 in Calabar, Cross River State of Nigeria. This conference provides an important platform for engagement with peer African sub-sovereigns to exchange trade, investments, culture, and education opportunities. Our focus now must be on implementation and delivery, translating this partnership into bankable projects, productive industries, modern trade enabling infrastructure, and sustainable trade and investment flows, strengthen resilience, and support Zanzibar's long-term economic transformation. I congratulate ZIPA and all stakeholders in delivering bankable projects, strengthening regional value chains, and deepening intra-African trade. The bank stands ready to deploy its wide range of products to support Zanzibar. Know that to date, the bank has already made available over $2 billion in funded and unfunded facilities to support trade enabling infrastructure, and export-oriented projects in the United Republic of Tanzania. We also wish to warmly invite ZIPA and the revolutionary government of
now to invite Honorable Sharif, Minister of Labor and Investment, for his remarks, and then extend an invitation to you to address this Congress. As it comes, ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a warm round of applause. Karibu sana, Mheshimiwa Sharif.
Your Excellency, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Mama Mariam, our First Lady of Zanzibar, Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers, Honorable Mohammed, the Regional Commissioner for Urban and West Region, Principal and Deputy Principal Secretaries, Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, members of Diplomatic Corps, Head of Government Institutions, Mr. Ali Amour, Chairman of the Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce, distinguished investors and businessmen, members of diaspora, media personnel, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great honor and privilege to warmly welcome you all to the Zanzibar Investment Summit 2026. We are deeply honored by your presence today and participation in this important gathering that brings together leaders from government, business, finance, and development institutions from across the world to explore the immense investment opportunities that Zanzibar proudly offers. This summit reflects our shared vision of building stronger partnership, expanding investment opportunities, and accelerating sustainable economic transformation for Zanzibar. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, this year's summit is held under the theme Promoting Investment Diversification for Sustainable Development in Zanzibar, Shaping Zanzibar's Next Growth Story. This important theme reflects our collective ambition to develop the economy by unlocking new opportunities across strategic segments can drive innovation, industrial development, job creation, infrastructure expansions, and greater participation of local enterprises and youth in the economy. Allow me to briefly reflect on the activities of this important three-day summit. On the first day, our distinguished delegates had the opportunity to participate in strategic site visits across Zanzibar. At the same time, we organized a special masterclass for young entrepreneurs and business leaders. This initiative reflects our strong belief that empowering youth and strengthening local entrepreneurs are essential pillars for inclusive economic growth and long-term prosperity. Today, on this second day, is dedicated to meaningful dialogue, strategic engagement, and partnership building. Tomorrow morning, in conclusion, distinguished delegates, your participation in this summit sends a strong message of confidence in Zanzibar's future. We invite you to continue exploring the many opportunities our islands offer and
to all participants who have come from all over the world to be part of this important forum. Your presence at this summit is a demonstration of your interest in what Zanzibar has to offer. And I want to assure you that I stand before you as a partner who sincerely believe in the future we can build together. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this summit, promoting investment diversification for sustainable development in Zanzibar, shaping Zanzibar's next growth story, reflects a deliberate policy direction. It is not a marketing phrase. It captures a strategic choice that this government has made. Base. This is the rationale for our diversification agenda. It is about expanding opportunities, creating more sectors in Zanzibar, can be competitive, more avenues through which investment can flow, and more pathways through which our people, particularly our young people, can participate in the economy. Diversification does not mean abandoning what works. Tourism will remain a priority, but it must be complemented by growth in the blue economy, in manufacturing. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to speak about what Zanzibar can offer and why we believe this is the right moment to invest here. Zanzibar is changing, not through slogans, not through promises alone, but through real action, real reforms, and clear vision for sustainable economic transformation. Over the past years, we have invested heavily in infrastructure, roads, airports, seaports, power generation, tourism development, and public services. But let me say something very clearly today. Modern buildings alone do not create investor confidence. True investor confidence comes from security, from stability, from predictability, and above all, from justice and legal protection. That is why our government is committed not only to physical development, but also to institutional transformation. We understand that investors do not only invest money, they invest in trust. And trust must be protected by law, not by personal connections. Our vision for Zanzibar is simple: a modern investment destination where every investor, local or international, can operate under transparent rules, equal opportunity, and legal certainty. We are working to strengthen digital governance systems, modernize land administration, reduce bureaucracy, improve transparency, and eliminate unnecessary obstacles that have historically discouraged investments. Our goal is to ensure that land records become more reliable and digitally protected, investment procedures become faster and clearer, investor rights are safeguarded, and business disputes are handled within a fair legal framework. Ladies and gentlemen, Zanzibar today offers unique advantages, including the following: strategic access to East African markets as well as the Southern African markets, political stability, growing tourism demand, a young and energetic workforce, expanding infrastructure, and a government that is actively opening its doors to global partnerships. But beyond all of this, Zanzibar offers something even more important: a government that listens, a government that reforms, a government that understands that investor confidence is national wealth. We are introducing targeted investment incentive programs designed to support serious investors in tourism, logistics, manufacturing, blue economy, renewable energy, digital innovation, and strategic trade sectors. And the momentum is already visible. Over 800 investment projects with a combined registered value of more than $9 billion are already active in Zanzibar. ZIPA's one-stop investment center consolidates key government services, including tax authorities, tourism regulation, business registration, and immigration, into a single facilitation interface. The aim is straightforward: to reduce the time and complexity involved in establishing and expanding a business in Zanzibar. We also offer 100% foreign ownership of companies with unrestricted repatriation of profits, dividends, and loan repayments. Ladies and gentlemen, alongside the reforms I have described, I want to share with you the current economic data, because the case for investing in Zanzibar is not built on projections alone. It is supported by a track record of measurable progress. Our economy is currently 7.3%, a rate that reflects both the strength of our existing sectors and the early impact of our reform program. Inflation is contained at approximately 4.1%, supporting macroeconomic stability and the purchasing power of our population. Our fiscal position has strengthened over recent years, and our revenue base is expanding. Zanzibar's youth population is growing, and with it, both a responsibility and an opportunity. With the right investment in education, skills, and enterprise, our demographic profile becomes one of our greatest productive assets. Creating the condition for that investment is one of the clearest obligations of this government, and one we take seriously. When investors create jobs and build skills in Zanzibar, they are not simply generating returns. They are contributing to the development of a country and its people. Ladies and gentlemen, the investment environment I have described is designed to support activity across a defined set of priority sectors. Our priority sectors span the full breadth of Zanzibar's economic potential. In the ocean economy, we are developing fisheries, aquaculture, seaweed farming, and maritime logistics, building on the natural endowment of over 600 kilometers of coastline. On land, we are opening opportunities in agro-processing, manufacturing, and industrial zones anchored by our free economic zone framework. In energy, we are advancing both renewable energy and our emerging oil and gas frontier. In the digital economy, we are investing in connectivity, fintech, and technology entrepreneurship. The detailed sector opportunities are documented and available, and our teams are here over the next 3 days to walk you through them. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important message I want to leave you with today is a simple one. Zanzibar is ready. We have the framework, the opportunities, the reforms, and the commitment. We seek partners who share our long-term vision, and we are prepared to act on it. Our ambition is not merely is to build a globally respected investment environment. To every investor here today, and those watching around the world, I say this: if you believe in long-term opportunity, if you
Tanzania's safaris and hospitality sectors, Mr. Bobby has over that time built and opened award-winning hotels and resorts in the island, contributed to some Zanzibar's largest and most complex development projects, and has provided advisory and project management services across a wide range of investor-led hospitality and residential initiatives. Your Excellency, Mr. Bobby is also a founding board member of the Zanzibar Association of Tourism Investors, ZCTVMEDIA, in 2002. He has also served twice as the vice chairman of the association and as a former chairman of the Hotels Association of Tanzania. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm round of applause to Mr. Bobby Makena as he comes to moderate. Mr. Makena, karibu sana. Your Excellency, Mr. Bobby.
bringing with him broad leadership experience from global hotel brands, now representing the sector that put Zanzibar on the investment map, and indeed the one that every other sector is trying to build alongside. So Minister, if I may start with you, please. Having seen Zanzibar's investment landscape from multiple vantage points, what do you see as the defining priorities that will shape the island's next phase of growth, and what progress on policy and reform?
In terms of business environment, those are the areas that I think are important and crucial for us to move forward. Thank you.
Asante Mheshimiwa. So diversification is clearly the key to the next phase, to driving growth across all levels outside of the traditional sectors that we have been working with so far.
Of the districts in Tanzania, as well as about 248 branches. So Bobby, to the question, what are we seeing? NMB's perspective really stems around Zanzibar, which continues to present strong and significant investment opportunities that essentially reflect sustained financing across the economy. And what we have essentially evidenced is the fact that we are looking assets for Zanzibar of about $400 million as we speak. And we see massive opportunities, which essentially demonstrates not only our capacity within the market, but also how we're able to support the transformative investments that are essentially coming through to this market. In addition to that, we really truly commend the revolutionary government of Zanzibar, specifically in the steering of significant developments. And it is through these milestone achievements that we essentially believe that Zanzibar really has to pivot. Pivoting from a strategic pillar of tourism, and if I go by some of the stats that one of the investors shared with us yesterday, tourism is definitely promising in terms of a growth trajectory, because we understand that even in terms of Google searches, there are about 5 million or so Google searches as far as Zanzibar is concerned. So really a well-established tourism destination and brand. In terms of scalability and, what essentially presents a bankable project, I think primarily the credit deal structure, in the sense that there's clear feasibilities, there's defensible cash flows, there has to be proper risk allocation, governance that essentially meets the bankability. NMB also welcomes the fact that there is significant ambitions with regards to diversification beyond tourism and hospitality. Certainly, I think I fully agree with the Honorable Minister with regards to, where the focus has to be as far as the extent of these strategic sectors are concerned, and what promises to essentially contribute to the story. So certainly as a bank, we also have significant in these sectors, that is real estate and mixed use of property developments, fish culture, logistics, maritime services, as well as renewable energy. And here we essentially looked for the for solutioning for both project financing as well as advisory services. Now, as far as the digital economy is concerned, MB has also been quite privileged to partner with various institutions within the government of Zanzibar, and as such we continue and retain our commitment to essentially deepen these partnerships for both private and public entities and ensure that we continue to contribute to these key priorities. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. So yes, the banks, the capital, which has traditionally been a challenge for many projects starting up, seemingly the finance sector is moving in as well, also supporting the diversity of future economic opportunities. You've heard the banking perspective. You're here on the ground as an active private investor in this market. What has your experience told you about what Zanzibar does well in attracting and retaining investment, and where do you still see the most movement to be made?
Good question. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So, you know, it's funny, next month, July 1st, will be the first time I ever visited Zanzibar, just 3 years ago. We purchased our first piece of land 2.5 years ago. So if you look how quick that is, 2.5 years, we have 165 units under development, 2 different projects, one in Nungwi, one in Chikwani. We're handing over one this year, one next year, in a 2.5 year period. Our project probably took 8 weeks to get approved. You don't see that in many places. So what you have in Zanzibar is something you really can't manufacture. It's the true will of the government, that they have a will to want to move forward. And so in the short time that I've been here, from next month will be 3 years, you see such a big improvement. And you know, His Excellency has said a lot of things that are happening. And so what can change? What can do better? I mean, only two things that really investors really care about is consistency and clarity. That sets and paves the way for everything that every investor wants. But Zanzibar has done a great job in attracting investors like myself on vacation and turns into an investor. I came here to put my feet in the sand, and we've got $45 million worth of projects under construction and another 300 homes in pipeline. But I would say that, you know, Zanzibar needs to maybe push beyond other types of, like everybody's been echoing here. I would say in manufacturing, there's a support system underneath the construction and development sector that needs to be developed. We're planning on $5 or $7 million in supporting the development structure, right? I have to ship everything from China. Why can't we make certain cabinets here? Why can't we have certain things here that I don't have to import because I can have a better projected timeline? So there's things that we can manufacture here in Zanzibar and even export to Kenya, because the whole East Africa is seeing a boom in construction. So I think it's really up to us as developers to be able to kind of diversify our actual investment into the island, more than just developing and selling, building mixed use. But in the future, I think the trajectory is there. I'm committed to beyond development projects and real estate projects and investing in other things. So there's nothing I can really add to what's happening. The retention just comes from consistency, that the pure will of the government and the genuine will of the government, this administration. Just keep going down that pathway, and I'll keep sitting in the back all the way to the end. So that's my short answer to your question.
Thank you, Max. That's a very edifying. Efficiency are all very important parts of any investment story, and your request to look more at the diversification, the broadening of the manufacturing base is clearly something that the government are already taking very seriously. So Graham, coming on to you now, I mean, hospitality has been the foundation that Zanzibar's success story so far has been built on. A lot of the investment has been aligned around that, but as the sector continues to grow and mature, and as the investment base starts to develop further, where do you see the need to sustain that momentum in the future for the hospitality sector? What role do you see hospitality continuing to play as Zanzibar diversifies its economy in the future?
Thank you, Bobby. Mheshimiwa, ladies and gentlemen, I'd answer that question by going back a little bit, Mheshimiwa, if you don't mind. And it goes to the heart, actually, of your policy, which is very much to embrace the globe and make Zanzibar open for business, and has been, I think, explained very eloquently here. Actually, 200 years ago, Mheshimiwa, in 1833, we actually had the very first treaty signed, believe it or not, with America, a second treaty. And that was the Treaty of Amity and Commerce. Today we witness not too much amity in the world, more the opposite, sadly. But the amity that existed there, and the very first treaty in 1833, and the very first American consulate, which in 1837 was built, is the Tembo Hotel today. So that link to tourism and the welcoming for hundreds of years by Zanzibar to maritime trade, and the very first trade between East and West, where Zanzibar, Mheshimiwa, was a hub. And it was a hub much different from, let's say, the Strait of Hormuz, which is fighting over fuel and trade. The fuel then was, of course, the wind, the monsoons. So it became this incredible center of actual commerce, and witnessed today in Stone Town as a living heritage, where you have this mistakenly cosmopolitan, but incredibly warm and welcoming and respectful communities of each other. So, Mheshimiwa, first of all, I would like to praise the continuance of that in Zanzibar. I believe in global terms today, it is actually one of the greatest export commodities that we have, not just in a tourism perspective, but actually in the welcoming of investment, because it is ultimately based about respect, it's based about openness, it's based about transparency, clarity, and I think that, combined with the approach that under Mheshimiwa Sharif and Zipa and Mheshimiwa Saraga, now inclusion of women at work, we need more empowerment of youth. Inclusion of women at work, we need more empowerment of youth. We need to make sure that the hotels do more to do that for labor, training. We still have only 28% of the employment actually in the hotel communities are Zanzibaris. So there's a lot to do to move forward on that. Agriculture-wise, when we get the cold chains working the way they need to work, we have an amazing spice island that we've all lived and grown up and seen in our time here. But still, over 68% of the commodities consumed in the hotels are imported, and it's in the own backyard of Zanzibar. So, you know, we're not even talking about the export potential. Of course, that's there, but right here in our own backyard, we can do so much more. So, innovation, IT, I think the world's wide open, and I embrace amity, Mheshimiwa. I think that it's sadly lacking in today's world. And I think Zanzibar could become a glowing light of how to showcase that, actually, globally. Thank you.
Thank you, Graham. So yes, the Zanzibar investment story has been going on for 200 years as the trading center of this part of the world. But as we move forward, the role of the hospitality sector sees important developments such as broadening the human resources base, diversification of the actual supplies across the island, the role of utilities, the role of a general kind of supply chains being in place for all segments of the industry to diversify as well. So I'm aware that we only have a short period of time, so I'd just like to sort of put one last question to each of you. We have a busy agenda today, but if we were to find ourselves back on this stage in 3 years, what is the single measurable thing that would tell you that Zanzibar's next growth phase has genuinely begun? I'll start with you, Graham, over there.
In 3 years.
In 3 years' time?
In 3 years. In 3 years, I'll have hair, I'll look much more attractive, Mheshimiwa. I'll be less stressed. No. In 3 years, for me, actually, in the heart of this, and to me, it goes to the heart of sustainable investment, I would like to see zero unemployment in the rural community of the under 30s. I'd like to see youth employed, and I would like to see 70% of the employment in the hotel industry with Zanzibaris. For me, that would be a measure of success, Mheshimiwa.
For me, I believe, a fresh new $1 billion of non-real estate or non-hotel, non-tourism, and not announced, not completed, I think would be the important part, because I think Zanzibar has the capability to sit in the trade, doing a lot of port work and doing that. I believe Zanzibar has the ability to manufacture things that are needed. So create the underlying support of this. But I would say,
Linda?
In my opinion, I would say strong growth of FDI, but particularly local participation. So significant local participation in these targeted sectors, reflecting the deepening of the value chain and the ecosystems within these sectors. And I think, at the risk of sounding a bit idealistic, I would also say demonstrated execution at scale and a definitive trickle-down effect to the common mwananchi.
Well, that is, it is a difficult question, but I would consider, after 3 years, that Zanzibar next growth story is there. If my dreams come true, and my dreams is to see Zanzibar is one of those 10%er when we talk about economic growth. And that is achievable. That is achievable because His Excellency has just mentioned here, we are 7.3%.
Yes, not just possible, but necessary. Yes, not just possible, but necessary. Asanteni sana. Questions? Would anybody in the audience here like to have any questions for our panelists, or indeed anything that we've discussed today?
And we shall only take 3 questions, so I already have seen the 2 hands. Please bear with us, interest of time. Karibu. I've seen you.
Hi, my name is Anthony Adolph. I'm the managing partner of the Co-Prosperity Fund. We're a fund based in Zanzibar that invests in small businesses. We provide funding and support for small businesses, so if there's any in the room, please come and talk to me after. We're happy to invest. My question is, we're talking about a lot of diversification, but we're talking about sector diversification, not size diversification. As you may know, 64% of the Zanzibar and Tanzania economy is fueled by SMEs, small to medium-sized businesses. So I'm wondering, what can we do? What's the thinking? What's the program? What's the policies to boost the small and medium-sized enterprises sector? That's my question.
Thank you very much. We'll take the second hand and the final. There's a hand at the back. Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Charles O'Neill. I just wanted to get on to what Mr. Maxwell had said. I wanted to know, what type of initiatives would you look at to bring in more foreign investment, let's say from the US or the EU? And how could you implement new types of digital infrastructure into this specifically? Because the new thing that's going around is Jensen, the founder and CEO of NVIDIA, had said that we're moving on from a SaaS to a GSSS, meaning that we're shifting from software into more agentic, we could say, services. So how do you look at implementing that into the real estate sector of Zanzibar? Thank you.
There was a hand here.
Thank you very much. My name is Khamis Omar Kota, founder and member of diaspora from UK. I've got one question, please. What opportunity investment do you create in edtech technology? Thank you.
And a final question. Please prepare to respond to them.
Thank you very much. My name is Swedi Yunus. I'm the CEO of a company called Tanzania Investment. I facilitate investors, diaspora for is to Sharif. It's in relation to, I liked the statement that Tegisa just mentioned, trickling down to the common wananchi. Yes, we're talking about prosperity. From the EU, I heard prosperity. In terms of corporate social responsibility, our policies and Act 2022, there is something mentioned, but holistically, we have to look at this thing holistically so that the investments really trickle down to the common wananchi. Thank you.
Asante, moderator, over to you.
Thank you. Okay, broad cross-section of questions there. I think starting with the first gentleman who was talking about, did you want to answer this, please, Mr.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for these very, very important questions to us, but to the government as well. When we talk about SME in Zanzibar, this is, and now we have even improved, we are talking about micro, small, and medium enterprises, meaning we touched everybody. And we have a policy, SME policy, that really gives every kind of needs to these sectors. Now we are talking of empowerment. We have an empowerment program that helps SMEs. They get credit from very important programs that was launched by His Excellency himself under ZEA. ZEA is an agency that deals with economic empowerment. And they touch women, they touch youth, they touch disabled as well. So these are initiatives from the government to make sure that SME improves, SME do well. And in regards to, can I answer the other questions?
Please do.
In regards to digital infrastructure, we are now under digital transformation. As a government, we want to make sure that service delivery is done through electronic. So when we talk about digital systems, every government institution is now under the process to make sure that they deliver their services digitally. We have e-government services as well, so when you come to the government, you get those services digitally. We're talking about innovation as well, which is very important. His Excellency has established a new ministry under Minister Soraga that deals with digitalization and innovation, which is so important. We were talking here, and I'm very happy that Max has supported that. We want to make youth millionaires. There are those programs, but it's up to them as well to make sure that they are after those dreams. And for the government policy, we are ready. We are very transparent as well, and we can accommodate and every SMEs that is here to do jobs with us. The last question in regards to FTech, I think it's fintechs, I think. Everything is underway. When we talk about services, the government now is making sure that we have a digital payment system. We have numbers of mobile networks that are used to make sure that you do your payment. We want to go even further to have a cashless payment system in Zanzibar. So all these are under process, and we'll make sure that in the future, which is the next growth story, we will achieve all that. There was a question posed for me in regards to how we're going to trickle down to Mwananchi. What can I say? Corporate social responsibility is something that can help local communities, but people who are surrounding those investment in the villages area. And we have now formulated a law. It's still a bill. It has to go through Parliament decisions, which deal with corporate social responsibility, to make sure that all these investors who are coming here, whether it's FDI or it's DDI, foreign direct investors or domestic direct investors, they contribute. They have responsibility to this community. So this is underway, and I promise you that the community, the Mwananchi, they will all benefit from investment that are coming in this country. Thank you.
Asante Mheshimiwa. So diversification is across all aspects of economic growth. The opportunities are there, transparency is there, digitalization is there, and all of the things that we've been talking about for the future are clearly already within the government policy remit as we move forward. I think there was one other question directed at you, Max. Did you want to pick up on that, or was that covered by Mheshimiwa already?
If you help me remember the question, I might be able to answer it. I think he talked about putting AI into construction area. I have these conversations with my engineer quite a bit. Matter of fact, my chief of staff implements AI into the construction sector as much as we possibly can. Sometimes it's hard to give a tiger new stripes because, you know, engineers are typically want to be stuck in their ways, but we implement it where we can, and we do a lot with it. What AI has helped us be able to do feasibility studies a lot faster, but I know he had a more direct question, and I want to be able to answer that. So maybe after this panel, you can find me, and I'll answer the question directly for you.
Thank you. And did any of the other panelists want to comment on any of the questions that we've just had?
No, I think it's been very well answered about trickle down, etc. The only thing I would add is that as soon as you start to develop things like hotels and other businesses, there are secondary services and tertiary services that jump out of that. I think as hoteliers, we need to be more aware of what those could be, so we're conscious within the local community. I think programs, Mheshimiwa Saraga, with regards to more entrepreneurialism, teaching entrepreneurialism and innovation in youth is critical. And I think there's things that we can do that link that back to the industry sector. So I think there are ways that we can harness and do more about the trickle-down impact, or the in-country value, we call it, which has the same approach. And that goes to the heart of the micro and small medium enterprise communities and economies, which actually is still the mainstay of Zanzibar, that was said earlier. So that's all I would add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, thanks again to the panelists. I hope that that has given everybody some strong insight into where we see Zanzibar's next growth phase coming from and how we will be defining that, and we look forward to more discussion on these subjects through the course of today. Asante sana.
Asante sana. Let's give them a big round of applause. Can you please, as they take a group photo, Your Excellency, allow me now to bring onto the podium for brief remark on behalf of Gilead Terry, Mr. George Mukono, the Director of Investment Promotion from Tanzania Investment and Special Economic Zones Authority, TISEZA, who will come and give us a brief remark as we collaborate and work closely with them as ZIPA. Thank you very much, and let's put our hands together for Mr. George Mukono. Karibu.
Your Excellency, my role today is just to give to introduce the theme for the next panelist. And the next panelist, the theme will be the Unlocking Zanzibar Bankable Investment Opportunities. So I just want to highlight some few things. We understand, we have listened to your speech, and you have highlighted a lot of reforms that the current Zanzibar is doing. So I just want to give three quick highlights for the next panelist that they're going to discuss about the bankable project that Zanzibar is prepared. So one issue is introducing the value facility for financing those bankable projects. One is to make sure that we need to have a bankable project, a pipeline development.
I would also like to bring onto the stage, last but not least, Mr. Ramzi Ajami, who is the Senior Area Advisor, Eastern Southern Africa and Indian. Your Excellency, we are discussing bankable investment opportunities in Zanzibar, and allow me to begin my question with Honorable Juma Malik Akil, the Minister for Finance. Honorable Minister, and please, my panelists, allow me to take the session from where I am. Honorable Minister, I would really wish to understand, and if you can address on how is Zanzibar strengthening its financial ecosystem to support investors from entry to exit. How is Zanzibar strengthening its financial ecosystem to support investors from entry to exit? Mheshimiwa Waziri, karibu sana.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you. I'm sorry my sound is cracking, but I take this opportunity first of all to thank you for allowing me in this particular panel. But also I just want to thank all the participants here. Yes, Zanzibar is getting prepared to allow a more investment in terms of infrastructure, like His Excellency said, and from the entry point that, of course, most of investments in Zanzibar, most of Zanzibar depends on the good policies that we have. One of the policies that we were implementing that to ease those embargoes in terms of tax exemption and clearances. We are doing as much as possible to make sure that, of course, investors are getting into Zanzibar and they have the opportunity to invest with a more affordable way to access the tax exemption in terms of financing. So this is an incentive that we have made since we started the 8th phase of the government. For instance, we allowed special areas, especially in Pemba Island, making sure that, of course, we exempt almost 100% to attract investors to come and invest in, but also in other areas of the island. So, on the government perspectives, we are focusing on strengthening our policies and financial ecosystems, making sure that, of course, everyone is accessing, everyone is getting able to invest at easy without any embargoes. That's
Honorable Minister, while at that, we've seen there's a very strong government commitment, but usually it's not cascaded down to the grassroots. How do we now ensure the policies, the investment environment is very conducive all the way to the grassroots?
Yes, it is. It is to all the roots. This is not exceptionally. We are giving incentives to our locals and our local investors. We call it domestic investors. But we're also, of course, allowing foreign investors, FDIs, and so on. So our policy does not have limits. We allow and we give incentives to all. It's not selective. So I would say that, of course, it's only up to investors themselves now to decide to make an investment. But on the government side, I think the door is always open, and we are always encouraging people to come and invest.
Some currencies in the countries, etc. What mechanism are in place to ensure we have, first and foremost, currency stability, but also capital mobility for investors? Dr. Emungu, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Makani, our moderator, Your Excellency, the President and First Lady, Mama Mariam. Because I'm speaking for the first time, allow me, Your Excellency, to bring my boss's Governor Emmanuel Tutuba greetings. He was supposed to be here, but he's with Her Excellency for the state visit in Russia, so I'm here for him. Back to the question, I'm from, and I'm happy, you know, His Excellency, you know, when he was giving his speech this morning, referred to it. So, stability is very key, and for us, central bank, our number one enemy is inflation. Yeah. Again, our enemy is our monetary and financial, you know, policies we pursue, we conduct as central banks. In this case, Bank of Tanzania. We have to support, you know, all this. Make sure that we have low and stable inflation. It's to be very strong, well capitalized, liquid, you know, sound and safe. So, so that was a bit of, you know, context to this. So digging down to you, the specific question. I mean, now you have seen, as mentioned, His Excellency, now you have seen, as mentioned, His Excellency, you know, our is very stable, and I will tell you why. You know, policies in terms of, you know, fiscal policies, structural policies. So we are making sure that, you know, inflation, you know, is very low, and, you know, it has been around 3 to 5%. And actually, if I tell you, on average in Africa is double digit. You know, you're talking of more than 13 is an average of inflation in sub-Saharan. But for us, over here, around 3 to 5%. So our currency, you know, to be second point is on reserves. This, I think we are maybe few of central banks in Africa, not maybe in the world, where we have put it in our laws that at any moment in time, reserve shouldn't go below 4 months of import cover. And this, we have been, you know, we have been taking care of this all the time, that at any point in time, reserves below 4 months of import cover. So, and whenever the, you know, the private sector wants some dollars, able to, you know, to have dollars, but again, the banking sector, it has enough liquid in terms of T-shillings and the Forex. Maybe I stop, there, and then we can proceed.
Yeah. Follow-up question to your good response, Dr. Yamungu. I wish to see the central bank launched the credit scheme. I now really wish, how is that embracing the spirit of shaping Zanzibar's growth story?
Yeah, great. I think and this links well to the question which was asked in the first panel. Have been doing guarantee schemes have been there, but this time we are going public, and this is a private partnership to, I would say, a new version of credit guarantee schemes. This will be owned by actually private sector. We have invited banks. They'll be owning 60%. We'll have only 40%, in that. So we think, this will be a transformative, banks and the government. And actually, this from the Asian experience, I think have done this, and countries like Thailand, and they have been successful to this. So we are going to do that, and we see different stakeholders coming in, individuals. Actually, I wouldn't say long-term vision, but we see in the medium term being, public. We are going to register it, at Dar es Salaam.
Excellent. Yeah. Much. Your Excellency, allow me now to follow up my question. Modric Ramadan Soraga, the Minister for Information Technology and Innovation, but also the Acting Minister of Tourism. Honorable Soraga, I wish to understand from you, from the hats, but the first one that you're wearing, what is the current as well as the future digital agenda in place to complement the Zanzibar's next growth story?
Thank you so much. First of all, before I get into answering your question, if we could please put a round of applause for His Excellency the President once again. And there's a reason why I'm saying this. I've had the privilege of being the Minister for Investment for 3.5 years. And one thing I could say about His Excellency the President is that we have a very practical, very pragmatic president, the likes that I've never seen on the continent or in Zanzibar in the past. We came in during the period of COVID. Our was at less than 4%. So I've witnessed firsthand the changes, the reforms, the restructuring, and everything that has been done for the last 6 years to get us to this point. And this is all because of the very objective and pragmatic approach that the President has. And why am I saying this? We understand that tourism is the backbone of Zanzibar's economy, and it contributes 30% of our GDP. But in observing that, His Excellency came up with another big plan to take Zanzibar to the next level by focusing on the digital economy. And this is the pragmatism that I'm talking about. The new ministry that I'm having the privilege of leading, I believe, will take us to that next step that we have all been discussing here for the last couple of hours, to where Zanzibar can now be positioned within the region and globally as the center for innovation, as the center for startups, as the center for digital transformation. And our broader approach within the ministry is to position Zanzibar in that sense. We have raw talent on the ground, youth who are graduating from our universities that are very skilled, that are very innovative, but they lack the necessary direction. They lack the necessary leadership to leverage what it is that they have. And I think the ministry and the mandate that we have been given gives us that leverage, or it gives us that opportunity to make sure that we leverage the talent that we have to provide the right policy framework and the right legal framework that would allow for our young men and women to thrive and to be able to realize the potential, and potentially to make that will provide training, capacity building, but also provide access to finance that will support these startups. So AI, with the use of blockchain technology and perhaps crypto, all of these areas are things that we can explore that provide remarkable value in a very, very short period of time. And I think that's a much more sustainable way of administering an economy, especially an economy, an island nation economy, which is highly driven by service. So because we're an economy, we really have to put emphasis in terms of our systems, in terms of our quality and service delivery, especially in the use of digital platforms, where this is where the world is right now. This is where we are, and so Zanzibar cannot be left behind. So once again, I really want to thank His Excellency the President for formulating this ministry and for trusting me with this very important task. And I hope that the future for Zanzibar really, really lies in the digital economy.
Thank you so much, Honorable Soraga. But I have missed, and thank you very much, it's a fantastic response, but I've missed the how. How do we then leverage technology to advance development agenda? You know, you've mentioned AI, but how do we leverage sure that technology and information technology is part of our development agenda on a daily basis?
First of all, we have to, as I said, we have to be pragmatic, like the way His Excellency is. We have to be very bold in terms of the decisions that we are making from a policy standpoint. For example, right now, the biggest thing that is being discussed is blockchain. There's a lot of fear when you talk about blockchain technology because of the lack of understanding and that it has. So I think capacity within the institutions to understand the potential that we have in terms of the use of technology. And it has to be people-centered, it has to be people-driven. We are dealing with a lot of issues in terms of transitioning to use of systems, to ensuring that the government has interoperability. And there's a lot of resistance that we're seeing in terms of people accepting this new technology. So the number one factor is human capacity to build confidence, to build understanding, and to create ownership within the government framework in terms of understanding where this technology can take us. And I think that's the only way we can leverage and get ourselves to that next level that we're looking forward to.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mudrik Ramadan Soraga. I would now wish to move on to you, Natalia. Natalia, from the position you're sitting as an investment promotion expert, looking onto the portfolio of investment promotion in the Division of Investment Enterprise at UNCTAD, I wish to understand, first at a global scale, and then we'll cascade it down to Africa, Tanzania, Zanzibar. But globally, what defines top-performing investment today? What defines top-performing destinations today? And where would you put, where does Zanzibar fare?
Hello. Thank you very much, Karibu. My first word. Muchas gracias. I'm from Latin America, from Venezuela, and I'm very panelist. And I want to say, from the global perspective, I'm an outsider. I work for the United Nations. I need to say that I came to Tanzania some 18 years ago to work in investment promotion in the Tanzania Investment Center. At that time, we were doing some capacity building. And 18 years later, it's a huge and very positive change in Tanzania. I just came from Dodoma. We did have a training activity in Dodoma on bankability of projects. We had a training activity on bankability of projects in Zanzibar 3 weeks ago. And so I want to say that just to reconfirm what we've been saying this morning, that things are changing very fast in a very positive way in Tanzania and in Zanzibar. Going to thank you. I can see it from the outside, so I mean it. Going to your question, well, the world of international and foreign investment is moving very fast all the time, and but it's also very, very vulnerable to geopolitics. So not only the world is upside down, but the international investment is also suffering a lot for the consequence of geopolitics. But let's gonna talk about the theoretical and ideal world. So, and the topic here is that we need to have for investors to participate in an investment in any country. So we have already talked today about the local strengths of the country, particularly the business environment, the legal framework, the political will. And I think it was mentioned something which is very key, and it's the next step for Zanzibar and Tanzania and many countries, which is the institutional strength. I think that is key. I think if you have a plan, as you have an excellent vision, Your Excellency, I'm very impressed with the vision, and I can feel the pragmatism, Minister, you were referring to. I think that's going to be very, very impactful. But strong institutions are very important to materialize the visions and the projects, and to keep in the long term. So for that, we need prepare people who the knowledge to fulfill this. So then I will go to the basic education, capacity building, preparation. And I think this is an answer to the first question you asked, or a second, about how do we make this benefit go to the grassroots, so impact. So grassroots also needs to be ready to receive and profit from the benefits. And that is only with education and preparation in the different areas needed for fulfill the vision that the government, the president, people of Zanzibar. There are all these to go together. The vision to materialize and for investment projects to be feasible, bankable. So there is maybe a great opportunity. Zanzibar is full of opportunities which you can see then and feel there in your heart as soon as you just fly in and land. But then there's a lot of work that needs to be done for something to be investable. And we are not talking only about private investment, because, well, this is probably my personal view, may I say, but a public investment also needs to be bankable, so needs to have the minimal criteria of being a project that it's correctly prepared, that has fulfilling minimal standards, even to be even a public investment, correct me if I'm wrong, or vis-a-vis also private investment that has specific requirements about revenues, preparation of the project, risk assessment, from the perspective of the project proposal, a project owner. So from the global perspective then, so preparation, knowledge, research. A lot of research is needed to put together a proposal, a project, research on what the technology is changing really fast. I just mentioned the role that artificial intelligence is taking now in our life, in our professional life. That should be used for the good, so people should learn faster. It should be accessible and useful for the grassroots people. All these things, capacity is very important so that they can move and participate fully and contribute fully to it. So a good investment project, which is at the end of your question, requires several factors to be fulfilled, either in of the world.
While still again, that
foreign exchange, that there is not enough foreign exchange to actually comply with the full repatriation of capital when it is due. So you need very strong monetary policy, you need very strong fiscal policy, you need very strong labor policies and coherence in the government to respond to this crisis effectively.
Thank you very much. I will come back later, Dr. Akil, after we've heard from BPI France, on to what Natalia just ended, the risk of foreign exchange to as far as the repatriation of currency of capital is concerned, but we'll ask you later on. But right now, Your Excellency, allow me to get from Ramzi Ajami, from the International Investment Institution, BPI France, representing a number of investors that we have in the room. From the BPI France perspective, Mr. Ramzi, I wish to understand what are the key factors that you really look or assess before looking at investing or looking onto financing or looking onto buys into markets like Zanzibar?
Thank you for the question. Excellency, good morning. Good morning, ministers. So BPI France is not a DFI. We are not a direct finance institution, such as the French Development Agency or GIZ. BPI France stands for French Public Investment Bank. And for us, the key factors that we are looking into projects where we have, of course, French content that would bring the know-how and local counterparts. On the questions that you were asking earlier, what we do, for instance, in Tanzania and in Zanzibar, we work with local counterparts. In this sense, we work with CRDB Bank. In Zanzibar, we have an MOU that we signed last year with ZIPA, with whom we have already partnered. We are very active in Zanzibar and across the continent to foster what we call co-industrialization, because we know that some companies that we have in France, we have around 200,000 clients, have the know-how they can bring to the table. But the local actors, as the capacity building was mentioned, bring the field. You don't go someplace if you don't know how it is going to be. And with that, for instance, we work with a lot of partners in Tanzania, in Zanzibar, but also in France, to bring that capacity building and also that know-how for projects. And to illustrate that, we just also financed at the end of last year a 30 million euro projects with the government of Zanzibar, with CRDB, to the digitalization of the land masses of the island. On that project, what we brought is the financing, of course, for the French company, but mainly also for the French company to have a solid partner in CRDB and in Zanzibar to able to grow and to empower the projects. So mainly what we're looking for us in specifically the projects and the partnership that we would like to have is to have a local partner, somebody we can work with and somebody who's also going to bring to the table what matters locally, what is the point and what are the topics that we need to be able to address and how we should address the market. Because we will not come directly into the market, we will always come through partners and through other subsidiaries, given that we don't want to misunderstand anything and really to be able to absorb and understand the full capacity and the potential of every single market that we are present. In Africa, what we do on the financing is around €1.6 billion for the last 4 years, and we're very keen and only doing deals that are from 1 million to 25 million euro. So fairly small. The one in Zanzibar is exceptional because it was a very big deal for us as well.
Excellent. So talking about local partnerships that you establish in local markets, I wish once again to pick from you. So what tools and support do you provide to actually bring these local partnerships into accelerating their development?
Thank you for that. We have actually many tools. And building on what the minister just said regarding innovation, we have a tool that's called Euroquity, which is a platform that brings together investors and local companies. It works very well in Nigeria, for instance, works very well in Kenya. And on that platform, where you can put the businesses and the new businesses who wants to find partner, that is the tool that can be interesting. But that's for the very small scale part. We don't provide the financing on those because it's too small for us. We mainly provide the go-between and the interaction that can come together. On the side of other possibilities of financing that we provide, we mainly provide export finance. As I mentioned, from 1 to 25 million, but what we require in our export finance facility is the French content. To bring something that is going to be interesting, usually to a local partner. I also see METL Group with whom we work in Tanzania. And what we want them to bring is really for the private sector, not to be left aside. We really want to come and bring with us delegations, businesses. We came 2 years ago with a delegation of the MEDEF International, which is the French patronage. We brought around 25 to 30 businesses in Dar and Zanzibar. And these are the kind of projects we built. To give you some example, we just find
very clear to the public. And of course, definitely, it's all in favor, it's trying to keep in favor of all people, like I'm saying, investors and local content. So, as the government, actually, we are trying as much as we can, making sure that, of course, we are being guided by these laws and rules and regulations. So it is very clear that, of course, the foreign exchange is one thing. Of course, it has to be mitigated by different ways. Foreign exchange, not only a risk, not only one risk, but there are other risks, like we are talking about geopolitics, for instance. What you're trying to do is we adjust ourselves as a country, as a nation. We are trying to adjust, making sure that we are containing our macroeconomic values. We're maintaining our inflation. We're maintaining our growth, making sure that we are not shaking. So the government is always intervening inside of it, making sure that it stabilizes. So when the prices of fuel goes up, the government sit down and see how do we stabilize it? Where do we forgo? And of course, making sure that the people and the investors are in a good capacity to keep on their businesses. So as a government, for the most of the important things that we want to make sure is to stabilize, making sure that we are stabilizing the environment. We are stabilizing actually the capacity of the people and the investors, making sure that they are not shaking. So all these risks like foreign exchange and other things has to be mitigated, and like we are always doing in the government. And that is our main objective at the government, to make sure that all the business environment is maintained in every corner, in every way. And that's what we are trying to do always.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. And with that confidence that we have in the room from Honorable Minister of Finance, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, guests of honor, allow me now to turn on to the audience. I will only take two hands. I will only take two hands. And allow me once to be biased, I'll pick the lady's hand. We've not had any contribution from a lady, so there's one hand here and one hand at the back, and that will mark the end of contribution. We are truly grateful for your contribution, my panelists. Vision to value unlocking Zanzibar's bankable investment opportunities, and we are happy to have received a remark from Honorable Minister which sums up the discussion. Karibu San.
All right, please permit me to ask you to put your hands together for His Excellency. Please put your hands together for him once again. Thank you. My name is Shegun Alabi from Nigeria. I'm the CEO of Davidola Nigeria Limited. And I believe something that the prosperity of a country begins when the country can feed herself. And from what we've learned in this investment summit, I've seen a lot of opportunity in Zanzibar. And our plan, our vision as a company in Nigeria is to make sure that Africa produce what it eats, and also to convert our raw material into a value addition, whereby we can export our value addition product instead of exporting raw material. And then Zanzibar opportunity, And within the next 3 years, we plan employment through our I think it's a once again. My the policy industrial sector in Tanzania. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we have the mic all the way to the... Can you bring the mic? Naomba ulete mic huku mbele kabisa kwa Mheshimiwa Balozi Kairuki atauliza naye maswali. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Emungu, that question has been addressed to you, looking onto the agriculture sector. Balozi, karibu.
Asante. Thank you, moderator. Just one quick question.
If you can kindly once again introduce yourself, Balozi.
Yes, my name is Mbelwa Kairuki. I'm Tanzania High Commissioner to the UK. Last year, His Excellency paid a visit to the United Kingdom, and he engaged the City of London. And there was a very strong interest from stakeholders that he met to see Zanzibar establishing international financial center, similar to that we've seen in Mauritius, Dubai, and Kigali. Now, I wanted to ask the Minister of Finance and the Deputy Governor, do we see this thing happening within the period of his presidency before 2030?
Thank you very much, Balozi, for your question. Over to Dr. Emungu, and then Dr. Emungu. On your first question, what mechanisms do we have in the agri sector?
I will be very brief. On the agro industry, do we have a policy? I would say yes, because we have, the ministries, of course, are responsible for agriculture. They have, specific, I would say, initiatives towards that. But as central banks, and we have mentioned this, we have the credit guarantee schemes, yeah? So that take care of, of the agro, because we have the export credit guarantee schemes under that, and the SMEs, yeah? So we can talk about this, in details after this meeting, after this panel. But again, number two, we do have a 1 trillion, as a central bank, a 1 trillion shilling fund. This has actually 4 years around. We initiated this after COVID, so we are extending this facility to commercial banks to borrow from central bank and to lend to, to wananchi, to agriculture, businesses, at not more than 10% interest rate. Yeah, this is what we have.
dignitaries, deputies and the heads of institutions, panelists and moderators, and we had master classes yesterday, so we'll also bring the 2 trainers from the master classes yesterday, American Chamber of Commerce and ZNCC, all our sponsors, and Team ZIPA. May I kindly now request Your Excellency, Mama, First Lady, and Honorable Ministers to please come onto the stage. Please come onto the stage. May I request all of us to remain seated? Waheshimiwa mabalozi, all excellencies, ambassadors, may I now bring you onto the stage. You will come through my side here, and you will exit through the same stairs. So please, heads of institutions present, heads of government institutions present, so please come this side. Heads of government institutions present, so please come this side. Asante sana for the 2 masterclass trainers from yesterday to please come
kongamano kubwa la uwekezaji, ambalo limeandaliwa na mamlaka ya uwekezaji hapa Zanzibar, yani ZIPA, na pia ndilo linalofanya zoezi hili kukamilisha